What's up, everybody? It's Max Clausen, and before if you clicked on this video, you already know what this is gonna be. But this is going to be my anti-meta Morganite stun deck. Yes, and we are being that guy. We played Flu, that's anti-meta, and now we're playing this just because when you don't have any of the new decks and stuff like that, and you don't got the money for new cards, ain't really much else you do. Your decks won't really be able to keep up too much. You can try, but there's always going to be that certain different level of power. So just play something that's completely anti-meta and just is able to say, whatever, screw you, I'm playing the game how I want to. So we're going to get into the main extra inside, and if you enjoy this, be sure to hit the like button, and let's jump in. So, as majority Morganite decks, you will see I am choosing to play, instead of Vanity's Fiend, I'm choosing Vanity's Ruler. For one, it has higher attack points, so it's able to beat over things a little bit more easily than Vanity's Fiend does. And it just says your opponent cannot special summon. So we do play cards that do say we can special summon in this version of the decks. So spoilers, we don't have Pot of Duality in here. Next, we do have the Majesty's Fiend that just says your opponent's not going to be able to use any monster effects at all, so they're only playing the game at half power. They have to rely on the back row. And yeah, that's just about it. The real key point talker of the deck is Morgana, the Witch of Eyes. This card is incredibly good, coming straight out of Duad, I believe it is. So her effect on normal or special summon, she can add a Morganite card from your deck to your hand, and while you have 3 or more Morganite cards with different names that are in your graveyard or banish, you can activate her effect, turn your opponent's monsters to 0, which does help. And when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish a Morganite card from your graveyard to negate that attack, not once per turn. And she's always treated as a Morganite card. So we do have one of the Morganite cards, the Succumbing, that can search it out. Just 9 monsters. As always, in the stun deck, you don't really play that big majority of monsters because your power is really in the spell and trap cards most of the time. But these 9 monsters can't really go wrong. Next up, for the Morganite cards, we are playing the 3 Guilt Gripping Morganite. This card is the most essential of this deck, being that all the Morganites share the same effect, that you cannot activate monster effects in the hand for the rest of the duel after you activate this card. I believe it has to resolve. It doesn't matter, you can't activate monsters in the hand. So all of them share that effect. They all have 3 varying different effects. Guilt Gripping's second effect is that for the rest of this duel, you can normal summon high-level monsters without tributing. Its second effect is that you do not pay life points to activate spell or trap cards, which makes all the cards in the game, like the Solemns, the Cosmic Cyclones, all that stuff becomes free value. Its third effect from the graveyard is that you banish it, reveal a Morganite card in your hand, put it to the bottom of the deck, and then draw a card. Next, we have a Succumbing Song Morganite. This card's effect allows your monsters to make 2 attacks on monsters each battle phase. Any battle damage your monsters inflict is doubled, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to add a Morganite card from your deck to your hand, and then you put 1 card on the bottom of the deck. So this card can help you search out Morgana, help you search out Guilt Gripping, or it even helps you search out the Time Tearing Morganite, which we are playing 2 of. You can choose to run this at 1 if you want to, for just an extra card space, but this card is still one of the more important cards that you need to get off in this deck, because you want this card's effect is pretty much the standard of what the Morganite cards first started doing. The very first original, you can draw 2 cards at every draw phase. You can conduct 2 normal summons and sets in a turn, not just 1. And you can banish this card and discard another Time Tearing Morganite exactly. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal summon a monster. So it basically turns all your normal summons into a branded lost. if that makes sense. Next up, for the supporting cards, we do have the 3 Pot of Extravagance. The extra deck doesn't really matter in this deck as a stun deck, so you can play this card, free value. You can play Pot of Prosperity, which we do play the one of. You're looking at these, and they both do share the same effect, is that if either one of them goes off, it resolves. You can't draw cards for the rest of the turn. However, Extravagance says that only if this card resolves, you don't draw. So if you do this, pay the cost, and they ash it, you're still good to use your cards to draw, like Guilt Gripping or not Succumbing, but just Guilt Gripping, and your other draw cards like Card of Demise, which we do play, or even one of your other cards and such. But yeah, if this doesn't go off, if this doesn't resolve, you're free to draw. But if this goes off, or if this just activates, you're locked into not being able to draw. Just helps. All these just help you dig more into your deck, but being able to draw 2 is a little bit more player friendly. Everyone knows what Prosperity does. Card of Demise, you have to control 3 or less cards in your hand to activate this card. You draw 3 cards, and at the end of the turn, you discard your entire hand. But you cannot special summon. Your opponent just takes no damage for the rest of this turn. Next, I am choosing to help this whole deck's bad weakness is that it cannot go second. If you're playing a Morganite stun deck, just bare bones, like all this and then trap cards and stuff. With the decks we have now, like Yummy Feet, like Yummy, Rizio, Mitsurugi, Malice, all these things, they have stuff that can interact with you on your turn, which is pretty, obnoxious, but that's the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I am choosing to main deck the 3 Super Polymerization. Now, if I go draw phase, it's in my hand, cool. I can activate this, discard a card, send away problematic monsters I don't want to deal with or can't deal with, and summon a fusion monster. I've already broken up two parts of your board with this one card. And you're already thinking, like, why would you play this? But because I can play this in the draw phase and standby, it gets over this card's restriction, because you have to activate Pot of Extravagance at the very start of main phase 1, like your very first action. Don't know why I have to explain that, but some people just do say, why you ain't explain that? Come on now. That's it for the spells. Now for the traps. We already know we got the Solemn Brigade in Judgment. God said no to everything. The Warning, God said no to your summon. And we have the 3 Strike. God said no to your summon and your effect. Just being able to play all 6 of these in a deck is insane to me. And being able to pay to activate them without cost is even crazier. Next up, we do have, I do believe every Morganite deck should be playing this card, because it is very crazy. It is pretty cool. And that is 3 copies of Crackdown. Being able to just take your opponent's monster, you can't attack with it and its effects are negated, but you're getting your monster off their field, and then you can just do what you want with it. Like, you can use it for extra deck fodder, what have you. And we do play the 3 Infinite Impermanence, just because this is our only actual hand trap of the deck. That's it for the main deck, a clean 40. Let's move on to the extra deck. Again, extra deck doesn't matter, but these are cards I'm choosing to play because, some of the decks in this meta fall to a lot of these. So I'm playing the 1 Starving Venom just for Malice, Luna Lights, Orcus, Mitsurugi. All those decks just put up 2 dark monsters, and you just send them away, fuse them to this. I am playing 2 Chaos Star Source Dragon, just because we have things like Draco Tail in the meta right now. Blue Eyes is still around. It's not as strong, but it's still important to keep on holding to that. Actually, I have 2 of this Starving Venom. Sorry guys, this extra deck is bust around because we do play the Pot of Extravagance. But this extra deck can always change. Just put in fusion monsters you guys want to use and you think would be helpful. like in the case of we play 3 Garura Wings of the Resonant Life. Just get 2 monsters off their field, summon into this, draw. You can do if you don't have your Guilt Gripping or you have your Majesty's Fiend, you can just tribute over this, get a draw. But it is one of the best Super Poly targets. The next one would be the Mud Dragon. I would play 2 if I had a second one, but I am going to pick a second one up. So yeah, you definitely would play 2 of this. Next, I do have the Elder Entity Entis. Just in case there have been people that are running K9, Yummy, or whatever have you. What's the other one? Azamina K9. That's just these decks. Just being able to summon this against those decks is just like, okay, Exina Sequel. Next, I do have the one Secretarian Dragon. Just also another thing to just use against K9 because they all are dragon and spellcasters. Next up, we do have the Earth Golem Administered, literally just for Malice. Next, we have, for the case of playing against Draco Tail branded or just Draco Tail itself, I am playing the Light and Darkness Dragon Lord because this card, being able to have another thing that just says no to everything and can just attack and be crazy about it. Next, I do have the Mysterion, again for the Draco Tail, and for some cases the branded. And I do have the Philia Regis. Again, another thing for Draco Tail, Blue Eyes, branded, and Dragon Rage, because those can now play in the meta now thanks to Draco Tail. Shit for the extra deck. Again, extra deck completely irrelevant. You can just, but if you're playing Super Poly, which I do believe every Morganite deck should be playing, just to break the board apart, just whatever the meta is, definitely play 3 Garura because this card's insane, and then 2 Mud Dragons, as I said, but I will be getting another one. Next up for the side deck. Now, I chose some cards that definitely can take the place of hand traps or other cards that would fall to the hand traps. So, in place of Book of Eclipse, because that would be hit by an Ash Blossom, I do have the 3 Swords of Concealing Light. Use this against Draco Tail and Yummy, and pretty much, and even Vanquish. So they have to respond to this card, but even if they do, if they can't negate it, all this stuff's going face down. Next, to play in place of Joel, I have the Mistaken Arrest. Nobody's adding cards from their deck to the hand except by drawing them, which doesn't matter to us because all our effects just do draw. The only thing it does stop is Morgana. But being able to use this against Draco Tail, all their effects just activate in Graveyard to set a card. They can't activate their Ketu to be able to search and then fusion summon. Orcus can't really do much against this. Yummy, I believe. Well, Joel doesn't really stop Yummy, so that's one thing. But this is still a good card, damn it. For the back row, we have the Feather Duster and the 2 Lightning Storms. Also for Yummy, Draco Tail, and anything in Vanquish Soul, I believe they can slow it down. There's a 3 Clockwork Knight, just change everything to a machine. Draco Tail just cannot play under this card. Neither can Yummy because all their extra deck stuff requires light beast monsters. And whenever we go second, just the 3 evenly matched. The best going second card in the game. That is it for this deck profile of Morganite Stun. Let me know what you guys think. If you hate it, which I know a majority of you that do play combo decks are likely just gonna be like, man, get this whack deck out of here. But it's like, listen here, Konami made this deck or this archetype. I choose to play it. If you got a problem, stop me. If you can't, oh well, it's just a skill issue. But that's besides the point. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more content and ring the bell for notifications. And let me know what you guys think about this current meta, what you think about Morganite Stun, what you think about all the decks that are running around. And if any of you that do play this deck, just to say, I want to try and get someone off, but I don't want to pay for all these expensive and crazy decks, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'm going to see you guys in the next profile. Take care.